Hello everybody, welcome to this course on communication protocol. Now this word communication protocol you will come across in your career in ADAS on very regular basis. Communication protocol is as important to ADAS as blood is for a human body. Okay, blood, nerves, how important they are for a human body, communication protocol is as important as that for an ADAS functionality. First of all, before I explain this communication protocol in ADAS context, I would like to give you a brief introduction about what is meant by communication protocol in the first place. What is meant by communication protocol, what is its role, what is its responsibility, how exactly is it playing such an important role, or why exactly is it playing such an important role when it comes to ADAS, I will briefly touch upon, and then we will jump into the communication protocol in the ADAS context. Alright. Now communication protocol, we will discuss the definition, the role and the responsibility. The definition, the role and purpose, responsibility. A communication protocol in automobile is a standardized set of rules that govern how electronic units, sensors, actuators exchange data within the vehicle's network. Okay, understand this sentence very carefully. A communication protocol is a standardized set of rules that govern electronic control units, sensors, actuators exchange data within a vehicle network. These protocols ensure reliable, fast and error-free communication, which is critical for safety, performance and functionality. Now these three are very important. The purpose of the communication protocol is to ensure safe, high performance and high-end functionality, especially in advanced driver assistance systems and autonomous driving. Now what is this standardized set of rules? Okay, let me give you one analogy. Okay, here it is mentioned electronic units, sensors and actuators. Now sensor is talking with ECU and ECU is talking with actuator, and within ECU again there are some components which talk with each other. Now how do they talk? What is the language? The language in which talk, that can be crudely considered a communication protocol, and every language has its own syntax, has its own grammar, has its own what you call present tense, past. Just now you for example, when you learn English, you learn about the present tense, past tense, where to put the preposition, where to put the interjunctions, all these things you learn. Likewise, every communication protocol has its own syntax, it has its own grammar. All right, and when you communicate data through that grammar, the correct message is understood by the ECU or the sensor or the actuator. Now what is the role of communication protocol in automobiles? Communication protocols serve as a language that allows different components to interact. Their key roles include data exchange, okay, transmit sensor data between the ECU, example camera, speed sensor between the ECUs, real time control, enable quick responses, automatic braking and steering adjustment. This real time control is very important because the response should be as close to the real world operation as possible. Understand this very carefully. This is where the word latency comes into picture. Latency should be as small as possible. Next comes the fault detection. Identify and report errors. Okay, can error frames, identify and report errors. Power and cost efficiency, reduce wiring complexity and weight. Okay, reduce the wiring complexity and weight. Next comes the standardization, ensure compatibility across manufacturers. Okay, these protocols are highly standardized languages, so that's the reason there is a good compatibility across various manufacturers, whether the manufacturer is a Ford or Volkswagen or a Mercedes or a BMW. Because of the standardization or the standardization of the syntax of this communication protocol, it is easy for various manufacturers to adopt this communication protocol. Now what is the purpose of automotive communication protocols? Okay, different protocols, different serve purposes like speed, reliability, safety requirements. Okay, let's see the various use cases. For example, a protocol, I will explain what all these different types of protocols. For now, you note down. These are the various types of protocols. First is CAN-FD. CAN-FD is low speed control signals or moderate speed control signals like engine management, basic ADAS alerts. Alright. LIN stands for local interface network. It is purpose is low cost body electronics, and it is used for low speed applications like window control seat adjustments. Next comes the FlexRay. It is used for high speed safety critical systems. Okay, when I say high speed safety critical systems, always understand usually this particular protocol is used where ASIL D criticality is prevalent. Okay, next comes brake by wire active suspension. Brake by wire or active suspension. Next comes the Ethernet. Now, a special word about this Ethernet and SerDes. These two are the most state-of-art communication protocols, and these two are making rapid advent or a rapid foray into automotive market, especially this automotive Ethernet, because it has high bandwidth data and high payload data. This particular protocol is able to carry huge chunks of data, huge loads of data in a single shot. That is the reason this Ethernet is making rapid foray or rapid entry into the automotive market, where real-time operation is becoming more and more important. Okay, example use cases: cameras, LiDAR, OTA updates, camera to ECU, LiDAR to ECU. That communication is clearly used for, that communication is clearly communicated with the help of Ethernet. Next comes SerDes. Now, SerDes is even more advanced than Internet. Actually, frankly speaking, SerDes is still in the research state. It is not actually productionized, not yet used in productionized vehicle, but it's only a matter of time. If not today, if not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, SerDes is going to be used as rampantly as Ethernet or CAN. Okay, for example, SerDes is used for 4K surround view cameras. Now, 4K surround view cameras is a ADAS functionality which I clearly explained about. Next comes the V2X. Okay, I already explained to you what is meant by V2X, vehicle to everything communication. For vehicle to everything communication, collision avoidance and traffic signals. The use case is collision avoidance traffic signals. This V2X is used. V2X is nothing but vehicle is talking to everything and everybody. It is talking to your mobile, it is talking to your infrastructure, it is talking to other vehicle. Alright, this is called vehicle to everything communication. Now, what is the responsibility of the communication protocol? First is to ensure reliable data transmission, error detection and correction. Examples CRC in CAN, checksums and Ethernet. Now, don't get intimidated by these words. I will be touching upon these terms when I explain you the various protocols. Alright, now next comes the collision avoidance. When it comes to collision avoidance, or there should not be any clash of messages, then CAN's arbitration, Ethernet switches, they come into the play. Again, don't get intimidated, don't get what you call, how to say, scared that these are very high level terms. There is nothing high level about it. These are very easy to learn, and once you get reasonable fluency in this protocols, understanding this arbitration and Ethernet switches is very easy. Again, let me remind you, this is like just a language. Once you learn a language, it is easy to communicate. Likewise, learning CAN language, Ethernet language, LIN language or FlexRay language, it will certainly take some time. But once you get mastery on these particular languages, communication is very easy. This arbitration or switches, all these are nothing but grammar of these communication protocols. Okay, next important responsibility is prioritize critical messages. This word prioritize is extremely important. Okay, real-time guarantees, FlexRay time trigger scheduling, quality of service, Ethernet AVB for multimedia. Now, multimedia, there is one more protocol called MOST, M-O-S-T, but there is a slight, how to say, difference of opinion. Some OEMs, they use Ethernet, some OEMs, they use MOST. Okay, but it strictly depends on the OEM's choice. Next is minimize latency. Next is deterministic timing, flex ray, TSN, Ethernet for add. Okay, minimizing the latency. The minimizing the latency is nothing but ensuring there is real-time operation. Okay, next comes the reducing wiring complexity. Now CAN buses replace point-to-point wiring. Okay, way back, of course, this is very mature technology. Way back in 1980, there was point-to-point wiring in the vehicle, and this led to very extreme, cumbersome, complicated wiring. And now once CAN came, this particular complexity was total, not if not totally, but it was eliminated to quite a good extent. Okay, CAN buses replace point-to-point wiring, and it replaces the complexity to quite a good extent. Next comes the power over the data lines. Alright, this is also leading to reducing the wiring complexity. And next comes supporting cyber security. The communication protocol must be such that nobody can hack or nobody can enter on the way of the communication protocol. For example, there is a highway between ECU and actuator. On the way, nobody should be able to hack the message. That is what is called this secure authentication. Ethernet with MAC and encryption V2X with PKI. These both serve the same purpose, that the data is never hacked. Now, what are other key challenges in automotive protocol? Bandwidth versus cost. If you see this graph, as the bandwidth is increasing, cost is increasing. So this is still one of the challenges. It actually appears common sense. Many people may say that this is actually how to say, as expected. Naturally, as bandwidth increases, cost will increase. That is expected. But still, many automotive OEMs research institutes are working to make sure that cost is as low as possible. Next comes the EMI and signal integrity. Electromagnetic interference signal integrity should be as high as possible. And next is mixed criticality systems, combining safety critical and infotainment data. Next comes standardization, proprietary versus open standards like AutoSAR. Now, even though these communication protocols are well standardized, there are some OEMs who may prefer to use their own protocols. There are some OEMs who prefer to use their own proprietary protocols. So that is posing some challenges when it comes to automotive scenario. Okay, so these are the key challenges. And talking about the future trends, first important future trend is time sensitive networking. It is deterministic Ethernet for autonomous driving, especially when it comes to autonomous driving. As vehicles are moving towards autonomous L5 more and more, this time sensitive networking Ethernet is becoming more and more important. Again, the biggest challenge is cost, but many research institutes are working to reduce the cost to the lowest possible. Next comes MIPI A5. This is a standardized SerDes for. Now I'll explain to you what is meant by SerDes. Now don't get confused. You just note it down in your book that the SerDes is a communication protocol, and it is used for cameras and sensors. Next comes 5G V2X, ultra low latency vehicle to cloud communication. Okay, I already explained to you what is meant by V2X, and now as 4G communication or 4G mobile speed is being replaced by 5G, this will further reduce the latency. Now these are all the various future trends. So in conclusion, automotive communication protocols are the nervous system or the blood flow of the modern vehicles, ensuring seamless interaction between safety, performance and infotainment systems. Okay, as cars evolve into software defined vehicles, protocols like Ethernet, SerDes and TSN will dominate, enabling faster, smarter and more connected mobility. Okay, now I consciously eliminated CAN, LIN and FlexRay because these three, Ethernet, SerDes and TSN, will dominate in the future. Slowly but surely, many OEMs are trying to eliminate or to standardize the use the same protocol for the entire vehicle. Okay, right now the scenario is from sensor to ECU, one protocol like CAN is used. From ECU to actuator, and again different actuators are different protocols. from ECU to one particular actuator like a window raising and closing, you use a protocol like LIN. For ECU to ADAS actuator like a brake or steering, you use a protocol like Ethernet. So many OEMs, they want to standardize the protocols. Instead of using various types of protocols, they want to ensure that cost optimized or cost optimum protocol is used for the entire vehicle. Okay, thank you.